Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. Do you or someone you know have a spouse or a partner who is entrenched in not wanting to declutter or downsize? If so, this video is for you. It's about when one is ready and the other isn't, and how couples can survive and even laugh through decluttering and downsizing. So there's that famous divide. I've seen 100 times. One partner's ready for simplicity, ready for a new life, ready for the freedom that downsizing and decluttering brings. And the other, not so much. They're in the trenches, holding on to memories, fearing loss, and resisting every step of the way. So it might start small, a disagreement over a single drawer, a box of, old greeting cards or letters, or a dining room set that was passed down from grandparents. But over time, this divide, seeps into every single corner of the relationship. Conversations get shorter, patience wears thin, and laughter kind of disappears. So if you're reading this, you may already know what I'm talking about. Maybe you're the ready partner, longing for that space and the simplicity. Or maybe you're the one who is entrenched, clinging to what feels safe, unfamiliar, and yours. So either way, there's hope, even here and even now. It's been going on a long time. Letting go doesn't have to divide you. In fact, it can actually bring you closer together if you're willing to listen, understand, and take the first small steps together. So being in those trenches doesn't mean just stubbornness or just laziness or just resentment. What it really means is attachment. It's that deep, protective love for the life that you've built together, for the memories embedded in every single object, or the trenches are built from fear of loss, fear of change, and fear that letting go means forgetting. So I've watched couples get stuck here, unable to move forward. So one partner sees the boxes and feels suffocated. The other sees the same boxes and feels comforted, like a wall of safety around their life that they've spent decades together creating. And often, neither realizes how this struggle silently strains and every other part of their life together. So the real barrier isn't the stuff, it's actually the story behind it, and the fear of losing part of yourself in the process. So there's grief involved here and also misunderstanding. So grief shows up differently for every single person. One might cry over the old china, the letters, the worn furniture, mourning the past, and the other one might just wonder why anyone would need so many boxes, so much clutter, or so much stuff. So it's a classic mismatch. So one grieves, the other one doesn't understand. And yet, the grief isn't wrong. It's just an unspoken barrier. I often remind couples that you're not fighting over the objects, you're fighting over what they mean. And humor can sneak in here too, and it should, because honestly, I've seen more disagreements over coffee mugs than I have kitchen remodels. The key is noticing the emotion beneath the object and respecting it without judgment. And that's key, without judgment. So there is a hidden cost, and that's avoiding the conversation, because the conversation is not going to go away. In fact, it builds, and walls start to surround you, resentment, silence, frustration. And those walls silently drain the energy, patience, and even love from a relationship. So clutter isn't just about storage space, it's about the mental space that it occupies. So every unspoken conversation, every avoided drawer, every postponed decision, that quietly chips away at the connection between two people. So I've learned that the hidden cost of keeping everything isn't measured in square footage, it's actually measured in the distance. Distance in the kitchen, distance in the living room, and distance in the heart. So what do? You open up a conversation, and this is where transformation begins. The conversation doesn't have to be perfect, because it probably won't be, and it certainly doesn't have to be all at one time, but it has to start. So you might want to lead with empathy and just begin with something like, I know this is hard for you. I can see why it matters so much to you. Another one is to share your why, explain that your desire to declutter and downsize comes from wanting more peace, more freedom, and a shared life together, not wanting to erase the past. And then the third thought is to just start small. Choose one drawer, one corner, one box. Those micro steps build trust. And then the last thing is to create new shared experiences. Replace what's being released with joy, laughter, and also connection. So at this stage, something remarkable can happen. The partner that's entrenched might start to see themselves a little differently through a whole new lens, not as obstinate or difficult, but as someone who's been protecting what they actually love. And that recognition is that first step towards change. So I once witnessed something I'll never forget. It was in that moment when the entrenched partner finally opened his eyes to his own attachment. I worked with them for a couple of weeks, and as they were standing around a box of old photos, finally the husband paused, looked at his wife and said, "I think I've been holding on because I don't want to lose who we were." That was rather a tearjerker for me. She reached for his hand and said, "You're not losing me, you're finding us again." She was waiting for that moment. So in that moment, something shifted. Walls softened, laughter returned, relief replaced the tension, and the clutter hadn't disappeared yet, but the emotional space between them had begun to vanish. So it's that moment that I've witnessed many, many times, that grief transforms into recognition, and recognition transforms into connection. So, and sometimes, if you're lucky, it also leads to the unexpected, and that's the shared laughter, the gratitude, and the renewed love, and just a renewed friendship and relationship again. So moving forward is possible, even if it feels impossible right now, even after years of avoidance and quiet resentment, anger, fights, even when that partner has been, entrenched for a long, long time. Start with one conversation, one small step, and also with empathy. The process is slower than we'd like it to be, of course, but the reward is beyond measure. It's a renewed relationship, shared laughter, and the freedom to embrace that next chapter together. So here's a few reflection questions that you might go through together. What's one thing that we could release together today? What's one thing that we'll keep because it truly brings both of us joy? And what's one new memory that you can create in the space of what was just cleared? So remember this, letting go doesn't mean losing each other. It means rediscovering each other through empathy, understanding, and the courage to start the conversation. Because when you let go together, you don't just clear the space in your home, you make room for love, laughter, and the next chapter of your life together. So I hope this helps, and I would love to hear from you, especially if you've tried this. So, and if you want to learn more about decluttering, you may want to look at my Minimalist Essentials workbook. It's on my website, and we can put the link in there below, but it's got a ton of things that you can do to learn how to declutter your home together, step by step and list by list. And also, I do want to announce that my newest book, Letting Go, is going to be launched on October 15th. If you would like to get notification or to get an early copy, you can just email me at ritawilkins@ritawilkins.com. It's something that I'm passionate about. I've worked hard on it with my team, and I look forward to getting that and sharing it with you. Take care.